Bismillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi yassir wa la tuwassir wa tammim bil khair. So let's continue lesson number 3. And as we know that in this lesson we are discussing the passive in Arabic language, and we have seen that for the past tense it comes on the pattern of fu'ila, like nusira, duriba, and in the present tense it comes on the pattern of yuf'alu, like yunsaru and yudrabu. And the dialogue continues from here. Al-mudarrisu, the teacher, Ya Jabiru, hati mithalan akhara ala an yakuna naib al-fa'ili fihi mu'annathan. Now the teacher says, O Jabir, give another example of naib al-fa'il in of the feminine. So give the example of naib al-fa'il when it is feminine. Jabiru tuqra'u Surat al-Fatihati fi kulli rak'atin. Tuqra'u, it is recited. What is recited? The file is, or naib al-fa'il is, Surat al-Fatihati. So Surat al-Fatihati is, or Surat al-Fatiha is recited fi kulli rak'atin, in every rak'ah. Surat al-Fatiha is recited in every rak'ah. Al-Mudarrisu, the teacher, Ya Hasanu, O Hasan, atastati'u an tadhkura ayatan. Atastati'u, are you able to, can you, and that, tadhkura, mention, ayatan, a verse, fiha, which consists, or that has, fi'lun mabniyun lil majhuli, that consists of passive voice. So, O Hasan, can you mention an ayah that consists of passive voice? Al-Hasanu, na'am, yes. Astati'u, I can, I am able to. Bi'awnillahi ta'ala, bi'awnillah, with the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Astati'u, it's basically verb form number 10. And inshallah, in the coming lessons, when we start the derived forms of the verb, then we will see that this form is used to ask for something. So astati'u bi'awnillahi, I am able to do, or I am able with the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Qala Allah ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَالَّذِينَ, and those whom yad'una, they invoke, min dunillahi, besides Allah, la yakhluquna, they don't create anything, wa hum yukhlaquna, and they are created. Wa hum yukhlaquna, what kind of wow is this?
Wow.
After? وَهُمْ يُخْلَقُونَ, after wow, when you see a nominal sentence, al-jumlat al-ismiyya, which consists of mubtada and khabar, that means this
wow al-hal.
Wow al-hal, excellent. وَهُمْ يُخْلَقُونَ, but they themselves are created. So here we will not say and they are created, it will be but they themselves are created. So and those they invoke other than Allah create nothing, and they themselves are created. So this is the beauty of learning the Quran, that it will also correct our aqaid. It will also tell us about the right aqidah, that it is not possible to ask anyone else other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for any kind of help. We cannot invoke anyone else other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when we are asking for help. Ahsanta ya Hasanu, you have done a good job, O Hasan. Ayumkinuka, do you remember this expression? Amkana yumkinu imkanan.
Aslama.
Yes, so this is used like as an expression. Is it possible for you? Ayumkinuka, as we know, is Hamzatul Istifham, to ask a question. Yumkinuka, is it possible for you? An tadhkura hadithan, to mention a hadith, nabawiyan, hadith al-nabawi, يحوي حوا يحوي that contains فعلا مبنيا للمجهول a passive voice يا زبير or Zubair. So O Zubair, is it possible for you to mention a hadith which consists of passive voice? الزبير يمكنني إن شاء الله. It is possible for me if Allah wills. قال صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم لا يلدغ المؤمن. A mu'min is not bitten. من جحر واحد, from one hole. مرتين, twice. لا يلدغ المؤمن. A mu'min is not bitten. So here it will be hole means by a snake. A believer is not bitten by a snake from the same hole twice. What does that mean? That means that a mu'min does not make or does not repeat the same mistake again and again. And if you see, look at the beauty of the, yes.
Sir, I think its meaning is a mu'min cannot be deceived twice.
A mu'min cannot be deceived twice. A mu'min does not make the same mistake twice. And a mu'min is not bitten by a snake from the same hole twice. Like he cannot be bitten, like if he made a mistake once, he cannot make the same mistake again. And if he has been deceived, he cannot be deceived by the same person or by the same thing again. That's right.
Yeah.
And, yes. And now this is the balagha of the language where we don't see the word snake, we don't see the word like, and we have the word juhrin wahidin, which means, juhr means hole and wahid means one. And if it is only juhrin, that's enough because it means one hole. For example, we say kitabun means one, a book. But when we say kitabun wahidun, that is used for emphasis. So here it is also used for emphasis. Juhrin wahidin marrataini, twice. Can you please tell me why marratain is mansub?
Because of min, sir.
Okay, so min juhrin wahidin is majroor because of min.
Non-adjective, sir.
Juhrin wahidin itself is noun adjective. Marratain, twice. Marratain is basically tamyiz.
Because of the yuldagu.
It's tamyiz because the numbers are used, or when we talk about the numbers and after that we use tamyiz, like marratain is mansub because it is used to distinguish. So min juhrin wahidin marratain, numbers are always mansub because they are used as the tamyiz. So that's why it is marratain. A mu'min is not deceived, or a mu'min is not bitten by a snake from the same hole twice. MashaAllahu, and this is said when you want to appreciate someone. May Allah bless you, or may Allah, or whatever Allah wants. Basically, it means, literally, it means whatever Allah wants. But then we use it when we want to appreciate someone, or when we are like encouraging someone, or it is used in many different ways, which means like whatever Allah wills. Al-Husaynu, intaha al-waqtu ya ustazu. The time is finished, O teacher. Intaha yantahi intihaan, verb form number 7. So again, inshallah, we will, when we discuss about the verb forms, we will come to know that this form itself is passive. So that's why if you look at intaha al-waqtu, the time is finished. The time is finished. So this form is passive in meaning by itself. Ya ustadu, O teacher. Aran al-jarasu, did the bell ring? Aran al-jarasu, did the bell ring? Al-Husaynu, لا يسمع صوت الجرس في فصلنا هذا. Okay, لا يسمع صوت الجرس. What will be the translation? It's present tense. So the sound of the bell is not heard.
It's not heard.
Yeah, it's not heard. في فصلنا هذا. In this classroom of ours. In this classroom of ours. Okay. Hada is used as ishara for faslina, but we cannot bring it before faslina, because if you say hada faslina, it means this is our classroom. It becomes jumlatul ismiya, it becomes mubtada and khabar. Faslina, hada faslina, it means this is our classroom. But he doesn't want to say this is our classroom. He wants to say that in this classroom of ours, the sound of the bell is not heard. So whenever we use mudaf alayh, and if we want to use ishara with that, then we have to bring after that, not before that. So here it is used as ishara. في فصلنا هذا, in this classroom of ours. منذ متى, since when? الحسين منذ أسبوعين أو أكثر, since 2 weeks or more. All right. أكثر is mansub. Why? Because
Mundu
of
is that. Mundu is that.
أسبوعين sir.
أسبوعين أو أكثر. So أو here it's almost used like واو العطف. And also أو is one of the verbs, inshallah, we will learn later, that makes the noun that follows it mansub. So, and because of mundu, as we know that mundu is a preposition which makes the noun that follows it majroor. So usbu'aini is majroor and akthara is also majroor. But we know that akthara is mamnu min as-sarf. That's why it will not take kasra. So our lesson is finished. All right, and now we start the exercises. Okay. تمارين. هل ترون الشاشة? Do you see the screen for the exercises?
Yes sir.
Yes.
Okay. Ajib, a very frequently used verb. Ajib. Anil asilatil atiyati. Answer the following questions. Ajib is on the, it's like ajaba yujibu ijabatan, like ishara yushiru isharatan. So when you want to say point towards something, you will say ashir, and when you want to say answer, then you will say ajib. Ajib anil asilatil atiyati, and we know that an is preposition, that's why the noun that follows it will be majroor. Answer the following questions. لما تأخر الطلاب? Why were the students late? الطلاب. Okay, does anyone remember?
لأن
The restaurant opened late
Excellent.
because the restaurant.
Yeah, لأن المطعم فتح متأخرا. متأخرا. Okay, متأخرا. Yes, excellent.
متأخرا.
متأخرا. Because,
متأخرا.
yes, because the restaurant opened late. متأخر is to be late. All right, number 2. في أي ساعة يفتح المطعم كل يوم? Like at what hour or in what hour does the restaurant open every day? ومتى فتح اليوم? And when did it open today? Quarter to 6, you remember?
Yes, it opened at 6 o'clock, but today it opened at 5:45.
Like today it opened at 6 o'clock. Yeah?
6.
All right.
Today is open.
Yes. So يفتح الساعة السادسة. It opens at 6 o'clock. إلا ربعا 5:45. Yeah. إلا ربعا 5:45. So it opens at 5:45. وفتح اليوم الساعة السادسة. But it opened today at 6 o'clock. في أي شهر ولد النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم؟ ولد
النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم في شهر ربيع الأول.
Excellent. في شهر ربيع الأول. Okay. So as we see here, it has kasratain, and when we connect it with al, and then this is the rule of the tajweed, then we add a small noon when speaking with kasra, so it will be rabi'i nil awwali. Yes, في شهر ولد في شهر ربيع الأول. He was born during the month of sallallahu alayhi wasallam, Rabi al-Awwal. Okay. في أي عام ولد النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم? In which year was Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam born? So here عام is مضاف إليه. So here it is not used as a ظرف. Here it is used as مضاف إليه. في أي عام ولد النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. Yes, do you
So
remember?
it will be ولد صلى الله عليه وسلم عام
excellent. عام 70 و500 للميلاد.
500 للميلاد.
Excellent. So here عام is used as مفعول فيه.
مفهوم.
Yeah, so that's why it is mansub. But here it is used as mudaf alayh because we know that ay is always used as mudaf. So now we can also see that any dharf can also be used as mudaf alayh as well. And when it is mudaf alayh, of course it will take, or maf'ul fihi, then it will also take kasra as well. But when we use it as maf'ul fihi, then it takes fatha. Wulida sallallahu alayhi wa sallam ama 70 wa 500 lil miladi, 570 للميلاد. في أي عام ولدت أنت? أنت is used here as for توكيد.
Emphasize.
For emphasis, yes.
Okay.
للتوكيد, excellent. So في أي عام ولدت أنت? And this question was asked to one of the students. If you want to answer about yourselves, you can answer about yourselves. But that student says ولدت عام 85 و300 وألف للهجرة. So it will be 1385, right? Lil Hijrati, during the year of 1385 of Hijrah. Okay, can you please read it? I would like to see if you're able to read it or not.
أين قتل
أين قتل
Excellent. And after that?
عمر
Umaru, naibul file, Irfan is always marfu'. So Qutila, fail plus file, and Umara radiyallahu anhu. So where was Umar radiyallahu anhu martyred, or where was he killed?
في المسجد النبوي هو
قتل
يصلي.
عمر في المسجد النبوي.
Excellent. قتل عمر رضي الله عنه وهو يصلي بالناس في المسجد النبوي. Yeah, he was leading the prayer in Masjid al-Nabawi when he رضي الله عنه was martyred. أي سورة تقرأ في كل ركعة؟ أي سورة تقرأ في كل ركعة? Why أي is مرفوع?
Because of the تقرأ.
Yes, تقرأ is the verb, right? And it requires naib al-fa'il, right? Naib al-fa'il is ayu. So basically it should come after tuqra'u. Naib al-fa'il normally comes after tuqra'u or after the verb, but we know that this is the question word as well, ismul istifham, and it requires sadr al-kalam, yani it requires to come in the beginning of the sentence, because when we ask questions, then we put the question words in the beginning of the sentence. So that's why it comes in the beginning of the sentence. However, the i'rab will not change. And the i'rab is because it is naib al-fa'il, and we know that naib al-fa'il is always marfu'. So, fi kulli rak'atin, yes, in every rak'ah. أي سورة تقرأ في كل ركعة؟
نقرأ. We should say نقرأ or تقرأ.
If you refer to the surah, then you will say تقرأ سورة الفاتحة. And if you talk about yourself, then you will say نقرأ. Yes, so it depends like how you answer, and it's better to give the answer in passive because we are dealing with passive. So تقرأ سورة الفاتحة في كل ركعة. Yes, Surah Fatiha is recited in every rak'ah. من الذي سرق كتابه? Whose book was stolen?
الذي سرق كتابه إدريس.
إدريس, excellent. الذي سرق كتابه إدريس. Idris's book was stolen. Excellent. And now you have to only reflect. تأمل الأمثلة الآتية. Reflect on the following examples. للفعل المبني للمجهول of the passive voice. وعين نائب الفاعل, and figure out or specify نائب الفاعل or the deputy of the file. في كل واحد منها, from each one of the منها refers to the أمثلة. from each one of the examples, or from each one of the example. Bunya al-Islamu ala khamsin. Islam is based, or Islam is built on 5. Bunya is the passive voice of bana. Bana yabni, bunya. Bunya is on the pattern of fu'ila. So if you remember this pattern of fu'ila, inshallah, you will never ever forget or make mistake regarding past tense. So fu'ila and bunya, as you can see, they are exactly on the same pattern. Bunya al-Islamu ala khamsin. Islam is built on 5. Shahadati. Why shahadati is majroor?
Because ala hamsin, after hamsin.
Khamsin, yes, it's badal of khamsin. So we know that badal is always, or it carries the same i'rab of the noun that comes before it. So because it is badal from khamsin, that's why everything that will be mentioned, that will be the badal of khamsin. Shahadati, Allah ilaha illallah, the bearing witness that there is no God but Allah. Wa anna, and that Muhammadan sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Rasulullah, that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the messenger. Wa iqamis salati, and to establish the prayer. Iqami. Okay, this is another beautiful thing. These are small things that you need to remember. What is the masdar of adafa? Adafa yudifu idafatan. Okay, what is the masdar of aqama? Aqama yuqimu iqamatan. Iqamatan. But here you see it's a hadith, and because of the balagha thing, the ta marbuta has been dropped. So that can be dropped as well, because that is extra ta marbuta. So here it has been dropped. It's not always the case, but in this hadith, as we can see here, it has been dropped. It is basically iqamatan or iqamatin, but that ta marbuta has been dropped. Wa iqamatus salati, and to establish prayer. Wa ita is zakati, and to give zakah. Here it hasn't been dropped, because it is from ata yuti ita'an. Wa ita is zakati, and to give zakah. Wal hajji, and to perform hajj. Wa sawmi ramadana, and to fast during the month of Ramadan. Ramadana, mamnu min as-sarf. And fasting of, so it will be translated as Saum is basically Sama Yasumu Sauman, is also a masdar. And we know that masdar is also used as mudaf, and Ramadana is mudaf ilay. And that's why it is mansub, it is majroor, but it does not have kasra. Why it does not have kasra?
ممنوع من الصرف.
Yes, excellent. So both of them are majroor, but here we can say that al-kasra al-dhahira, and here al-kasra al-muqaddara. So here the kasra is hidden, and here the kasra is apparent. قتل علي رضي الله عنه بالكوفة. Ali radiallahu anhu was martyred in Kufa. لا تفتحوا. Yes.
Sir, for the sake of information, who killed Hazrat Umar and Hazrat Ali?
Well,
Hazrat Umar, the qatil of Hazrat Umar was Abu Lolo Feroz.
Abu Lolo Feroz,
and
yes.
the person who killed Ali was Abdurrahman ibn Maljam.
Abdurrahman ibn Maljam. Jazakallah khairan, Irfan, for this useful information. لا تفتح المكتبة يوم الجمعة. The library isn't opened on the day of Friday. Yawma, as we know that it is used as maf'ul fihi, that's why it is mansubiyah. لا تفتح المكتبة. The library doesn't open يوم الجمعة, on the day of Friday. وجد هذا القلم. This pen was found تحت المكتب, under the desk. This pen was found under the desk. Wujida is the passive of wajada. Wajada, and the passive will be on the pattern of fu'ila, wujida. تقطع يد السارق. The hands of the thief are cut. لا يسمع الأذان في بيتنا. Azan is not heard from our house. يجب أن يكتب العنوان بخط واضح. It is necessary that the address is written in clear writing. And قبض النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. قبض يقبض basically means to arrest something. Like we say cardio arrest when someone passes away of heart attack. And again, this is also the beauty of the Arabic language. Here it has been used as like the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed away. قبض النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وهو ابن 63 سنة. And he was the son of 63 years. What does that mean? That his age was 63 years. So we don't find such beautiful expressions in any other language where we say وهو ابن 63 سنة. He was the son of 63 years, which means he was 63 years old. Again, تأمل ما يلي, reflect on the following. جلس الطالب, the student sat. هنا الطالب فاعل. Here طالب is فاعل. الفاعل يتقدمه فعل مبني للمعلوم. So file basically comes forward or comes before. الفاعل comes before the verb that we are talking about. So يتقدم means to come forward. قدم يقدم means to send forward. بما قدمت يداه, what his hands send forward. So whatever good deeds we do or the bad deeds we do, نقدمها, we send them to the akhirah. So when you talk about تقدم, when we add ta, that means something is sent forward by itself. So الفاعل يتقدمه فعل مبني للمعلوم. So in the active voice, file comes before the verb, right? And سئل الطالب, the student was asked. هنا الطالب نائب فاعل. Here student is نائب الفاعل, and we have seen that the deputy of the file, that means it takes the place of the file. نائب الفاعل يتقدمه فعل مبني للمجهول, and نائب file comes, or نائب فاعل comes before the doer or before the verb in passive voice. So in passive voice, if you remember the formula in passive voice, exactly the doer becomes like in the place of naib file becomes in the place of the doer. Whereas in regular form, the doer is the performer of the action by himself. So jalasa talibu, the student sat, as we can see here. Here the verb comes before, or the file. This is the file and this is the verb. And here su'ila at-talibu, here naibul file has been used, and it is used after the verb, as we can see here. So verb comes first and then the file comes, and similarly verb comes first and then the naibul file comes. Ibni, I'm sure you remember that.
بنى يبني ابني
Ibni, built. Okay. Ibni al-af'al al-atiyata lil-majhuli. Make the passive voice of the following verbs. لاحظ. Okay, لاحظ means note. لاحظ يلاحظ ملاحظة لاحظ. أن الفعل الماضية, that the past tense, المبنية للمجهول of the passive, يكسر ما قبل آخره, is given kasra to the second last. You remember that we discussed that the second last and before the second last it is given kasra. ويضم كل متحرك قبله, and every letter that is متحرك before it is given dhamma. Dhamma. So dhamma yadummu dhammatan. That means to give dhamma. Now you know where the word dhamma comes from. So similarly, kasra comes from kasra yaksiru, and it comes from dhamma yadummu. ويضم كل متحرك قبله, and every letter that is mutaharrik is given dhamma. So basically, the last one is always, we know that this is mabni al-fath, and the second last letter is always maksur, it has kasra, and whatever comes before it is given dhamma. Yeah, so it is kutiba, kataba, and from kataba it is kutiba. It was written. It was written. All right, now you have to make the verbs. Okay, so we have al-mabniyu lil-ma'lumi active, al-mabniyu lil-majhuli passive. Daraba,
Duriba.
Duriba. Okay, can you please translate as well so that you get used to the idea of
He
translating?
was
He was hit.
killed.
He was hit.
He was hit.
Hit.
He was
Okay.
hit.
Samia, he heard.
He was heard.
Excellent. What will be the
Sumia.
verb? Sumia. Excellent.
Sumia.
Sumia. So
Yeah.
if you remember the pattern of fu'ila, on the pattern of fu'ila, inshallah, we can do them all. Dhabaha, he slaughtered.
Dubiha.
Dhubiha, it was slaughtered, right?
It was slaughtered.
Yeah, okay. Bana, he built.
Buniya.
Buniya,
was built.
it was
Buniya.
built. Yeah, it was built. So sometimes we will translate it as he, and sometimes we will translate it as it, referring to that thing that we are talking about. Walada, wulida.
Wulid. He was born.
He was born,
was
okay.
born.
Wajada,
Ujida.
wujida, it was
Wujida.
found. Wajada, he
It was
found,
found.
and wujida, it was found. Shariba, he drank.
Shuriba.
Shuriba.
Excellent. It was drunk. Shuriba.
Hmm.
Ghasala, he washed.
He was Ghusila.
Ghusila.
It was-
Excellent. Ghusila,
Was
it was
washed.
washed. Okay. Akhada, he took.
Ukhida.
Ukhida. Excellent.
Ukhida.
Ukhida. Perfect.
Yes.
He was taken or it was taken. Hafida, he memorized.
Hufiza.
Ukhida.
Hufida, it was memorized. Sa'ala, he asked.
Su'ila.
Su'ila, he was asked. Okay.
He was asked.
Yeah, and also notice here, here we have Fatha, as we can see, Hamza written on Alif, and here Hamza is written on the seat of the Hamza itself. Yeah.
يساوي على سطر.
Ala Satr, okay. Qara'a, he recited.
It was recited.
Quri'a, it was recited. وَإِذَا قُرِئَ الْقُرْآنُ. Yes, do you remember the verse?
وإذا قرئ القرآن
فاستمعوا له
فَاسْتَمِعُوا لَهُ. Yes, and when the Quran is
وأنصتوا
recited,
لعلكم ترحمون.
turhamun, and keep quiet or listen carefully so that you could have mercy. Excellent. قُرِئَ وَإِذَا قُرِئَ الْقُرْآنُ. So as you can see here, إِذَا, basically when we use إِذَا plus past tense, it gives the meaning of present tense. وَإِذَا قُرِئَ الْقُرْآنُ, and when the Quran is recited. Excellent. So we have practiced for the past tense, and now we will practice for the present tense. The same thing, the same idea. Ibn al-af'al al-atiyata lil-majhuli. Now we have to construct the passive voice. Lahid annal. Yes, what will be the ending of fi'l? Al-fi'la al-mudari.
فعل مضارع.
Yeah, أن الفعل المضارع المبني للمجهول. The passive tense يضم أوله. The first one is given dhamma, yeah, as we can see here. In the beginning, it is given dhamma. Oh, okay, so we can put ويفتح ما قبل آخره, and whatever is before the last one is given fatha, as we can see here. So it has been given fatha. ويفتح, and it is given fatha. Ma here means الذي. ما قبل آخره, what is before the end of it. نحو, for example, يكتب, he writes. يكتب, it is written. Now you see here, yuktabu is just a small word in Arabic language, and in English we have to say it is written. So we have to say a complete sentence consisting of subject, verb, and object, whereas in Arabic it is only yuktabu, it is written. Okay, now we have for the present tense. So the only thing that we have to remember that for the present tense, it will be on the pattern of yuf'alu. Yuf'alu. Yashrabu, he drinks.
يشرب.
Yushrabu, it is drunk. Ya'budu, he worships.
Badu.
يعبد.
Yu'badu, he is worshipped, referring to Allah
Is
subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes. Yaqta'u, he cuts.
يقطع.
Yuqta'u, it is cut.
It is be.
Yes, or it is being cut if you want to further, yeah, if you want to use the proper, like the exact verb, sorry, the passive, so it will be translated as it is being cut, but even we can draw being, that's okay. Yas'alu, he asks.
يسأل
يسأل
Yus'alu,
يسأل
he is asked. Okay. Yafhamu, he understands.
يفهم
Yufhamu, it is understood. It is understood. Okay. Yakhluqu, he creates.
يخلق
يخلق
Yukhlaqu, it is created.
it is created.
Created. Okay. Yashrahu, he explains.
Explain.
يشرح
Yushrahu, it is explained. And Ya'khudhu, he takes.
يؤخذ
يؤخذ
Again.
يؤخذ.
So shall we put Hamza, Fatha, shall we put Alif, or shall we put Waw?
No, wow,
Wow, Ustaz.
Wow, because Waw is compatible with
compatible with
Dhamma.
the
Yeah, so that's here excellent. So what we have to notice over here, it instead of you akhadhu is difficult to even read, as you can see here, and we know that Waw is compatible with Dhamma, so that's why it will be yu'khadhu. It is taken, or he is taken. Yabni.
Yubna.
Okay, so if for the first time,
After that,
yeah, so if you try to put it on the pattern of yuf'alu, so if we put it on the pattern of yuf'alu, it will be yubniyu, right? So when we say yubniyu, then what happens? We know that Dhamma is heavy on ya. So the Dhamma changes, it gets dropped and it changes into Alif Maqsura. So it will be Yubnayu, Yuf'alu, Yubnayu, and Yubnayu changes into Yubna. Yubna, as we can see here. And if you remember the rules of the weak verbs, now inshallah, they will be handy. Similarly, this is, okay, put it first, Yakwi, it will put it on the pattern of Yuf'alu. Put it on the pattern of Yuf'alu.
Yukwayu,
right?
Yukwayu.
Okay, Yukwayu.
Then for Dhamma, it changes into Alif Maksura, Ustaz.
Yeah,
So Yukwa.
Yeah, so if you implement the rule is when Ya has Dhamma and there is Fatha before it, it changes into Alif Maksura. So it becomes Yukwa. Okay, this one is slightly different. First, I would like you to make the passive, and then inshallah we will see if you are able to make it or not. Yad'u. It will be
يدعى
Yud'a.
So basically it will be yud'awu. Okay, yud'awu. But please remember that in naqis, the passive for the present tense never takes waw. It never takes waw. It will only take alif maqsura. So yud'awu, it will be replaced with alif maqsura. So it becomes yud'a. These are very small and minor details, but if we write them down and if we are able to practice only once, then inshallah we will never forget, because all these minor details are difficult to digest when we are learning for the first time, when we did it in book 2. But now, mashallah, we have started book 3, so now you already know the rules. So this is just a small addition to the rules that we have already learned for the weak verbs for naqis. So this is the only exception, you can say. So please write it down and remember that waw will not be used over there. It will be replaced with alif maqsura. So yud'a, wa huwa yud'a ila al-Islam. Yalidu is yuladu, and we have discussed over here that walada yalidu in the present tense, waw gets dropped, but when we use it in majhul in the passive tense, then the waw comes back. So yajidu will be Yujadu on the pattern of yuladu, it will be yujadu. Okay, and yazinu will be
Yuzanu.
Excellent. It will be yuzanu. Perfect. Lahid, notice anna waw al-mithali in waw al-mithal, the verb that starts with waw, as we have seen here, walada yalidu, la tuhdafu fil mudari al-mabni lil-majhuli. So in mithal wawi, the waw is not dropped, as we can see here. So walada yalidu, in ma'lum, in the active, the waw gets dropped. But in the passive, the waw does not get dropped. it comes back, as we can see over here. So that is a minor detail as well. Once again, as I mentioned, that these minor details, we need to write them down so that when we are doing by ourselves, we know how exactly these changes have taken place. تأمل الأمثلة الآتية. Again, you have to just reflect on the following examples. ثم ابن الأفعال. Then you have to make the verbs في الجمل التي, in the sentences التي تليها للمجهول, that follow it for the passive. So now we have to make the passive verb of the sentences that follow these examples. تليها ولا يلي, ولا يلي, waliyun, as we say wali. So wala yali means to follow. والشمس وضحاها والقمر إذا تلاها, when it follows it. So تليها, that follows it. فهم الطلاب الدرس. The students understood the lesson. So فهم, as we know, is the verb. الطلاب is the fa'il. الدرس is مفعول به. فهم الدرس, the lesson was understood. So now الدرس will be naibul fa'il, right? Here we have the fa'il. So what happens when we make passive, then it becomes minus al-fa'il. And what happens? Maf'ul bihi takes the place of the fa'il, and maf'ul bihi becomes fa'il itself, as we can see here. Fatah al-bawabu al-baba, the doorkeeper opened the door. Futih al-babu, the door was opened. Again here, as you can see, al-bab here has become naibul fa'il. Saraq al-lissu sa'atahu, the thief stole his watch. Suriqat sa'atahu, his watch was stolen. Now why it is suriqat? Because sa'a is feminine, yeah, feminine. So if naibul fa'il is feminine, we will use the verb for the feminine, and if naibul fa'il is masculine, then we will use the verb for the masculine. يفتح التجار الدكاكين الآن. The merchants are opening the shops now. And تفتح الدكاكين الآن, and the shops are being opened now. Now why it has become تفتح? Because dakakin is the plural of dukkan, and we know that the broken plural is treated as singular feminine. That's why the verb that comes before it will be the verb that is used for singular feminine. So tuftahu ad-dakakina al-ana, the shops are being opened now. بعد بناء الفعل, after the construction of the verb للمجهول of the passive, يحذف الفاعل, the fa'il is dropped. ويحل المفعول به محله, and مفعول به takes its place مرفوعا, in the state of رفع. ويسمى نائب فاعل, and it is called naibul fa'il, and we have discussed it several times now from the beginning of the lesson. All right, so let's do this exercise. يشرح المدرس الدرس مرتين. The teacher explains the lesson twice. The lesson is explained twice. Yes.
يشرح درس مرتين.
مرتين. Excellent. So يشرح الدرس مرتين. The lesson is explained twice. ما صلب اليهود المسيح. The Jews didn't crucify Isa alayhi salam.
ما صلب المسيح.
Perfect. ما صلب المسيح, Isa alayhi salam wasn't crucified. يقرأ الطالب الدرس بصوت عال. The student reads the lesson in high voice. Okay, the lesson is read in high voice.
يقرأ الدرس بصوت عال.
Excellent. يقرأ الدرس بصوت عال. The lesson is read in high voice. Okay. يعبد الناس الأوثان في كثير من البلاد. People worship idols in many countries. Okay. Al-awthan, please remember that this is the broken plural of wathanun. Wathanun means idol and awthan means idols. So the verb that we have to use will be for the feminine. So it will be tu'badu. Tu'badu, excellent. tu'badu al-awthanu fi kathirin
في كثير من
من
البلاد.
البلاد. Excellent. تعبد الأوثان في كثير من البلاد. So as we can see here, because as we have mentioned, awthan is the broken plural, and the broken plural is treated as singular feminine. That's why the verb that we have to use has to be the singular feminine as well. منع المدير الطلاب المتأخرين من الدخول. The manager didn't allow the latecomers to enter. منع, excellent. منع الطلاب minus manager, yes. So الطلاب becomes الطلاب, excellent. منع الطلاب المتأخرون. لا, una. Because this is the sifa of the students. Here, at-tulab is mansub. And the sifa that we are using for the tulab is mansub. Okay. But when, because here it is maful bihi. But when tulab becomes marfu, so we know that masuf and sifa always they are equal in number, gender, and capacity. Status, yeah. It will be muni at-tulabu al-mutaakhiruna min ad-dukhuli. Muni at-tulabu al-mutaakhiruna min ad-dukhuli. So the latecomers weren't allowed to enter. Okay, so inshallah, once we complete this exercise, we will stop here. Lam yakhluq Allahu mithlahum. Allah didn't create like them. So when you know yukhlaq is sakin, and when we connect sakin, it will be connected with kasra. So lam yakhluqillahu. Sorry, so I read with the passive. So let's look at the active. Lam yakhluqillahu mithlahum. Allah didn't create like them.
Lam yukhlaq.
Laq, yes.
Okay, yukhlaq.
Yes, mithluhum. Mithluhum, right? So it will become mithluhum, okay? Lam yukhlaq mithluhum.
What are you having to eat?
All right. Tabni al-hukumatu. The government is building Masjidan Jamilan, a beautiful mosque, fi hayyina, in our district. The government is building a beautiful masjid in our district. Here, because hukuma is feminine, we have the verb feminine. But when we have to drop hukuma, and masjid basically becomes al-fa'il, so it will be
Yumna.
Yubna, masjidun jamilun fi hayyina. Excellent. Yubna masjidun jamilun fi hayyina. A beautiful mosque is being built in our district. Sabbar rajulu al-qahwata fil fanajina. The man poured coffee in the cups. Okay, now rajul will be taken away, and qahwa will take place of rajul. So that means we have to change the verb into subbatil qahwatu. Excellent. Subbatil qahwatu fil fanajina.
Fanajina.
Sorry, fil fanajini. Una, ina. Fil fanajini. Yes, okay. Yes, because when this is mamnu min as-sarf, but when we use al with that, then it can accept kasra.
So it comes back next.
Yeah, so it will accept kasra because of al. So whenever a noun which is mamnu min as-sarf, whenever al comes with that, then it can take kasra, then it's fine. Subbat al-qahwatu fil fanajini. So the coffee is poured into the cups. Ma arafa at-tullabu ismuhu. So ma arafa at-tullabu ismuhu. The students didn't know his name.
Ma.
First, arafa will be urifa, right? Past,
عرف
it will
عرف
عرف. Okay. Students will be
ما عرف اسمه
excellent. So it will be ما عرف اسمه, right? Because we know the hamza of ism is hamzatul wasl. So we will say ما عرف اسمه, his name is unknown. No one knows his name, or his name is unknown. And the last one, لا يجد الناس السمك, people don't find fish في السوق, in the market, هذه الأيام, these days. People don't find fish in the market these days.
لا يوجد السمك
في السوق
لا.
هذه الأيام. Excellent.
في السوق أيام.
So يجد will be يوجد. Excellent. لا يوجد السمك في السوق هذه الأيام. Fish is not found, yani fish is not available in the market these days. So instead of translating it is not found, because we can't really always translate word by word. So we can also sometimes translate it in the running translation. So we will say the fish is not available in the market these days. All right, alhamdulillah. So we have completed 6 exercises along with the half of the lesson. And we always make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless us, grant us the power to continue, inshallah. And we will meet, inshallah, again in the next lesson. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika, ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليكم. جزاك الله خير.
وإياكم.